Alright, utter banger alert. Everybody sing along. Hello everyone, welcome back to Too Sweet MTG. Welcome to another Commander Deck Tech. We're kicking off the Marvel hype train this week with Wolverine, best there is. It is 1 red and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature, Mutant Berserker hero. It has unrivaled lethality, which means you double all damage Wolverine would deal. It also has, at the beginning of each end step, if Wolverine dealt damage to another creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him. As well as, pay 1 and a green to regenerate Wolverine, which as a reminder is the next time he would be destroyed this turn, instead tap him, remove him from combat and heal all damage on him. Well, this is possibly the fightiest lad I've ever done seen, and Old Man Logan seems like a really fun commander. What's cool about Wolverine is that it rewards us for getting into scraps. The unrivaled lethality ability is really unique, because this is basically like super double strike, as not only will it double up the damage Wolverine deals in combat, it also doubles up all of the damage Wolverine would deal as well. Like, for example, if you use Fight or Punch effects, which are cards that make creatures deal damage to another creature. With Wolverine, that damage is also doubled up, which is really awesome. Those fight cards play into the second ability fantastically, because it means we're rewarded for using them as removal in the deck, as they will count as Wolverine dealing damage to another creature, so it will get another +1/+1 counter on it every time we do it. Why that's great is because those fight spells can be on instants, so if we do them on our opponent's turn as well as ours, it means we can get multiple counters onto Wolverine in a turn cycle, as well as from obviously getting Wolverine into the red zone and our opponents having to block. But then that regenerate ability is what really helps protect Wolverine, making sure it can rumble in every combat and always be ready to fight an opponent's creature when duty calls. While Wolverine is doing all this scrapping, it'll be getting bigger and bigger thanks to those +1/+1 counters it puts on itself. When that's combined with double damage, it means that it very quickly becomes a lethal 21 point of commander damage win condition. Put all of that together, and that means this is going to be a Fight Matters deck with a +1/+1 counters and Voltron sub-theme. The plan of the deck will be, early in the game, get Wolverine out and online, and then while holding up mana to regenerate it, get him into combat. We're going to start hitting our opponents or have them block, as one way of getting counters onto Wolverine. On top of that, we'll be using fight spells as our removal, to again put more counters onto it. To go along with that, we'll be running a bunch of extra ways to get more counters onto Wolverine, so that it sits in play and just gets bigger and bigger, until later in the game it can just take out an opponent. A quick note on how this video will work. We don't give full deck lists in this series, rather we break down the deck into the different categories that the deck needs to function. We'll then tell you how many cards in each of those sections to run, and give you a bunch of options for you to choose from. This is so you can truly make the deck work for you, your playstyle, and your budget. Talking of budget, if you're thinking of picking up cards to build this deck, please consider using our TCG Player affiliate link, which is down in the description below, along with a list of all the cards we talk about today. Using that affiliate link helps the channel grow, and we greatly appreciate it and love you all. Let's start off with our fight spells. This is one of the coolest parts of the deck. We want Wolverine to be getting into as many scraps as possible, as for each turn it does, it gets bigger with that +1/+1 counter. First up we have cards like Ulvenwald Tracker and Domri Rade. These both let Wolverine fight another creature. Why I'm mentioning these bits first is that importantly they are repeatable, meaning we can do them turn after turn. The Tracker being an ability means we can do it on our opponent's turn to really ramp up the number of counters we can add in a turn cycle, and then the fact Domri Rade doubles up some card advantage as well is really nice. We then have some more standard fight or deal damage spells. Top of the list here are cards like Ancient Animus, Inscription of Abundance, Archdruid's Charm, and Signature Slam. These are the best for a couple of reasons. Firstly, they're all instants, so again we can use them on our opponent's turns. But then importantly, these also put a +1/+1 counter onto the creature they are targeting, meaning that Wolverine is getting all the bigger while we are using them. Next up in terms of tiers of fight or punch is MDFCs. Cards like Stump Stomp, Bridgeworks Battle, and Khalni Ambush are awesome. These are fight and punch spells that importantly can be played as lands as well. It basically means they're free to run in the deck and are just fantastic cards. After that, you can top up this section with whatever fight or punch spells you have available to you. Personally, I would try to have these on instants where possible so we can react to what our opponents are doing, and also importantly get the counters on Wolverine on as many turns as possible. There's a bunch out there for you, I put some on screen here, they're all nice and cheap as well, so run what you can get your hands on. Coming earlier than normal is a little bit of protection. Wolverine's regenerate ability is great at helping keeping our fighty lad around, but we can also run some extra bits that overlap with the other sections of our deck to help as well. First up, we have some instant speed ways that protect Wolverine with either hexproof or indestructible. On top of that, cards like Snakeskin Veil, Gaea's Gift, and Silkguard all put an extra +1/+1 counter onto the creature they save, meaning that we get the protection and a way of buffing up our commander all in one nice package. Talking of those counters, we then have a card like Inspiring Call. This does need a counter to be on Wolverine to do anything, but that shouldn't be hard with everything we have going on in this deck. And when it has those counters, it can protect it and any other creatures that we have with counters on, and also draw us a card or two as well. After those, you have some more generic protection-based instants, with cards like Blossoming Defense, Tamiyo's Safekeeping, Tyvar's Stand and Overprotect are all awesome to cast as we're fighting something to guarantee Wolverine sticks around. But also, the pump they give can boost up Wolverine so it's even more deadly in combat. You then have an instant that can protect our whole board with Heroic Intervention, a very solid card in any deck that's looking to build a bit of an engine like this one. We then have some auras and equipment that can protect Wolverine as well. Canopy Cover is also some great evasion, which we absolutely love. And then on top of that, it'll basically give Logan hexproof. You then have Swiftfoot Boots, which is a great way of giving our commander haste, and then hexproof means that we can target with our fight spells, but importantly, our opponents can't. Our next section to talk about is our Counters Matters section. This section is all about getting some added synergy in the deck to make Wolverine all the more powerful. The first part of this is some cards that help us put some more counters onto Wolverine. Cards like Bristly Bill, Spine Sower, Innkeeper's Talent, Well Rested, Bone Sabres, Hydra's Growth and Halana and Alina Partners are all fantastic ways of putting extra counters onto Wolverine in each of our turns, meaning that Wolverine just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and all the more deadly. This means it's always going to be winning its fights, and means that if we can get through, it's more likely to take out an opponent with that 21 points of commander damage win. We then have a card like Rite of Passage, which also just sits there and keeps the counters piling up on Wolverine. We then have Rhythm of the Wild. This also doubles up as a bit of protection by meaning our creatures can't be countered, or it could give a creature haste so it can rumble in straight away. Or also importantly, it can put a counter on every creature we play as it is coming in. A truly great card. We then have cards like Hardened Scales and Ozolith the Shattered Spire. These are both awesome in the deck as they make it so that if any counter is put on a creature we control, an extra one is put on as well. That could be from Wolverine's own abilities or from one of the any other ways that we've mentioned. These can make Wolverine a very scary threat very, very quickly. You then have the OG Ozolith, which is a nice backup in case any of our creatures with counters on them get removed, as we can move the counters onto this, and then we can move them back onto another creature or our freshly recast commander at the beginning of the next combat. Next up is our ramp section, and here we're looking for slightly more than a regular deck, primarily because we're often going to be wanting to hold up one and a green so we can regenerate our commander when we need to. First up, we can look at rampant growth effects, cards that go and search our library for land and put them into play. These are fantastic options that we can use as we're in green. Cards like Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, Cultivate and Secure a Tribuilder are just some examples, but there's plenty out there for you to choose from. We then next have some mana dorks. Best in the deck is a card like Biophagus, as if we use it to cast our commander, it'll come in with an extra counter on it, starting that train of damage off nice and early. We have some other mana dorks next. There's a bunch available in green, but special notes to Delighted Halfling, as it can stop Wolverine from being countered, and then Fanatic of Ronus, as it will very easily tap for 4 green mana in the deck once Wolverine is nice and swole. You can then run some normal mana rocks next, with staples like Soul Ring and Arcane Signet, for some nice diversity to your ramp that don't die to a board wipe. We then have some other cool cards we can run on top of our regular ramp, with cards like Goblin Archaeomancer and Domri Anak of Bolus. The Archaeomancer reduces the cost of so many spells in our deck, it's just going to be really good. And then this Domri has a nice static of boosting up our creature's power, and then it can plus to add mana to make our creatures uncountable for the turn, while also giving us some bonus fighting as well. She slices, she dices, she does it all. Next up is our card draw section, and like with most decks, you're looking for somewhere between 8 to 10 bits here. First up we have Neith of the Dire Hunt. This draws us cards whenever we fight, or whenever a creature we control becomes blocked, which, as you may have noticed, is a large amount of what this deck is actually trying to do. Its second ability then is a lure effect that doubles Wolverine's power, and means it has to be blocked. This basically guarantees us a card a turn, and the extra counter on Wolverine as well. For the times that Wolverine gets through for damage, you have cards like Hunter's Insight and Hunter's Prowess, which can draw us an obscene amount of cards, and are great with our commander because the card draw works exactly as we want it to. Wolverine will be dealing double damage, so we will draw double the amount of cards as normal with these spells. You then have cards like Return of the Wild Speaker and Rishkar's Expertise, which draw us cards equal to the greatest power of a creature we control. Perfect for the late game when Wolverine is a huge beast, ready to draw us into one of our win cons. You then have a card like Season of Growth. This draws us cards whenever we cast a spell that targets a creature we control, like for example, a fight spell or a protection spell, which again is so much of this deck, it's going to be great. We can then top up this section with some standard bits of card draw in these colours. There's plenty of options out there to get you to the 8 to 10 bits that you need. Because unfortunately you can't punch enchantments, we will need some extra bits of interaction in the deck. Firstly, I'd look at staples like Beast Within and Chaos Warp. These are perfect for just answering whatever it is that our opponents have played. We then need to top up our deck with some board wipes. Firstly, cards like Chandra's Ignition and Waltz of Rage are just awesome in the deck, as they both have a creature we control deal damage equal to its power to every other creature in play, which when we're picking Wolverine will be doubled up as well. They'll both clear the board and leave Wolverine in play alone to run rampant on our opponent's life totals. Then lastly, you have a solid option like Blasphemous Act. It comes in every red precon, it's solid if you have one. Okay, that's the base of the deck. Let's go over some dedicated ways of us winning the game. First up, it's Commander. Let's get big, with cards like Xenagos, God of Revels, Unnatural Growth, and Zopendrel, Hunger Dominus. These all in some way can double up Wolverine's power. Double the power on top of the double damage that Wolverine dishes out is a really super scary prospect. I don't see a world where if you land one of these, you're not killing at least 1 or 2 opponents. We then have some more ways of doubling up the damage our commander is dishing out. Firstly, a card like Kedis, Emberclaw Familiar means that if Wolverine connects, we'll deal that much damage to each other opponent. And then Lizard Blaze is just one of a bunch of equipments that can give Wolverine double strike, again doubling up how much damage he dishes out. Another awesome way of doubling up the damage in this deck is with a card like Berserk. It can be a very all-in spell, but importantly it works great with our commander. We cast it when Wolverine is massive and getting through for damage, to double up its power and importantly give it trample. This will easily take out an opponent out of nowhere, but then yes, before you ask, we can activate Wolverine's regenerate ability to stop it being destroyed at the end of turn. With this we can have our cake and eat it, it's awesome. When that power is nice and high, you can use a card like Gravitic Punch to just deal its power. Remember that'll be twice with Wolverine to an opponent's life total. And then what's great is we can cast it again because it has that jumpstart ability. Another way of throwing around some damage is with Mage Slayer. When it's equipped to Wolverine and it attacks, Wolverine will deal its damage, which again will be doubled, straight to an opponent or planeswalker that they control. Then we have some more ways of making sure the commander damage is getting through to our opponents, with cards like Rancor, Dustshell Crawler, and Crown Ceratok. These all basically give Wolverine trample, which is a great keyword for our rabid commander to have. You then have some effects in red, like Karlach Fury of Avernus and Aki Battle Squad, which can give us extra attack steps. Again, just more a great way of getting some extra damage through to our opponents. Okay, we're coming towards the end now. Let's round off the deck with our land section, and here we're looking for somewhere between 34 and 38 lands to make the deck work. First up, we have Arena. Yes, I know it doesn't tap for mana, but it is a repeatable way of making a creature we control fight another creature, which is just what this deck is doing. It's very solid, we should probably consider it. We then have cards like Kessig Wolfrun and Skarg the Rage Pits. These are cool mana sinks that we can use to buff up Wolverine's power, and importantly, give it the trample that we need. Alternatively, you can use a card like Rogue's Passage to just make Wolverine straight unblockable to really take a player out of the game. You then have a card like Witch's Clinic, which can gain us an ungodly amount of life by giving Wolverine lifelink. This importantly does work with all the fight spells as well. Then for some added protection, we have a card like Tyrak Sanctum. It is a little slow, but it will buff up Wolverine with its first activation, and then later can make Wolverine indestructible, which is honestly just going to be kinda nuts. We're then going to jam in the best dual lands that come into play untapped. This is an aggressive deck that waits for no land. And then we're going to top all that up with between 12 and 20 basic lands to match the mana requirements of the deck. Wolverine will then be suited and booted and ready to go. Alright, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all very much for watching. A reminder that if you're building this deck, please consider using our TCG player affiliate link down in the description below. Also, let me know in the comments if there's any other commanders from the Marvel set that you would like me to take a look at. Also, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, we'll see you all soon. Goodbye.